Hey guys, so I got another cool model here to show you. I'm really excited about this one. This one's actually kind of three models in one. Um, but this is my pickup truck. This is from my fictitious company, Salochin. This is the uh, Overlander pickup truck. I've got a 1500, 25, and 3500 models. Um, Different engines that you can get. The most popular would be the Cummins, the V8 Cummins turbo diesel, and the Salochin S-Tech supercharged V8. I've had multiple generations of this truck that I've built. I think this is really it's really the second gen at the end of the day. But this one here is kind of our high-end model. I'll go ahead and kind of pan over here and show you guys some of the cool different features we have on these trucks. So this is the 1500 right here, and it's got these cool stripes up here. This is a little bit optioned up. This one is a two-wheel drive truck, or just rear-wheel drive. Interior, I haven't quite completely finished these models, but I'm still working on it. There's just a lot that goes into building an actual really good model of a vehicle. There's a lot to it. So anyway, these are our seats. Got different trim levels that have different colors and whatnot. Here's our dashboard. This is a fully LCD screen dash, so it's fully customizable. We've got our vents, infotainment system, and then you've got your defrost vents up there near the windshield. So that's the dashboard there. And then it's all push button for the seats, and you got air conditioned seats, heated seats, temperatures up, temperatures down, rear temperature control. So this truck actually has quite a large back seat. Let me see what I can do here. There's a couple cool features on these trucks I wanted to point out. So here's our back seat. You can see there's plenty of storage behind as well as underneath the seats, and look at all that legroom. There's right now I have two cab configurations. I'm finishing up on doing a single cab where it's just the front seats. I also need to build a bench seat for the front for that model as well. That'll be optional, or having the console shift optional. And then I've got the it does have a little bit of a hump in the floor, but nothing major as far as passenger compartment ingress from engine or transmission tunnels. This is the rear of the cab. This one does not have a sliding rear window. I still need to model a version with that. Like I said, there's a lot that goes into designing and modeling a pickup truck. And then this is kind of the rear design here. It's got these wraparound LED tail lights that are integrated into the bed. The bed kind of comes down the side here. You've got the one turn or a brake light right here in the middle, and then they've got like this little chromy piece in the middle there. There's your tailgate. Then up front here on the 1500 with the V8, you get a side ram air intake to the air filter element there that goes down to the engine. So you get a lot of breathing capability for the engine from here. That's open to the side, and it's only on one side. See, the side's just got plastic in there. But that's kind of a cool feature that I liked. Really, I designed this truck out of my head. I combined a few elements from different trucks that are manufactured today, and I built something that I would want to drive and feels really beefy. The front here, this part of the design you can kind of tell come from the Toyota Tundra. They've got like this little grill piece that's part of the hood up on top. So this truck has that as well. And then I kind of have the Ford thing going on with this piece of body color material here. But the headlights and tail lights are definitely very one-off, I feel. One-off design. But they would be HID or LED. And then it would have your high beam, low beam down here, and projector beams. And then, of course, has the LED kind of light bars going around. Kind of like how Ford does a lot of theirs. This here is the e-tron version. You get this fancy orange colored plastic in there. Then on this side, e-tron. That's supposed to be on both sides there. But it's the e-tron. This is the fully electronic truck. I do not offer any hybrids, it's either one camp or the other. You're either going full electric or sticking with fossil fuel. This will be available, the e-tron will be available on all the Salochin models, as well as fossil fuels. So this is the frunk that this truck inevitably gets. You got your charger port here, which has its own hatch through the hood. So when this is closed, you can pop that hatch only and access this little compartment here separately from the rest of the frunk. And yes, I am stealing Tesla's name for this storage area, but it is a frunk, front trunk. Down in the middle here, it kind of has this hump. This hump is mostly here just because of the size of the electric motor, which I can show you. That's a cooling radiator for all the batteries in the electric motor. There's the electric motor down under here. Like I said, these models aren't quite 100% yet, but I threw them into the dealership here that I've been building so that I can kind of show you the different models and whatnot of this truck, because I've been pretty excited about this model. So yeah, that's really all you get with the electronic truck. Everything else is really the same on it. It's available in a couple of different trim levels. I haven't quite worked out all the trim levels it'll be available with, but it's got this nice big trunk up front. This is our higher class model here. This is like the answer to Ford's King Ranch or Dodge's Laramie Longhorn. So I went ahead and removed the hood there so you guys can see what the engine bays look like on these trucks. They're a little bit different on the 2500 series, and I'll show you one outside of the dealership building here in just a minute. But it retains this portion of the under hood covering from the previous generation truck, which is this little part outlined with the box here. You take that off, and there's your supercharged V8 down in here. So, yeah, that's really what the underside of these look like. I decided I wanted to do a lot of plastics under here just because I'm not really satisfied with the way a lot of manufacturers cover certain areas and don't cover others. So I decided that for aerodynamics sake, it would help and noise sake for inside the cab, it would be nicer to have just a big covered engine compartment, make it really nice and clean. As far as interior looks go on this truck, this is kind of the color scheme. It's got like tan and brown plastic and leather and carpeting. And then I'll go ahead and show you a feature on this truck. This is what all my trucks and SUVs are going to have. As far as feature-wise, I call it a seamless or a borderless windows. So you get a seamless look all the way around the truck. None of these have, it's missing a B and a C pillar on this. They're invisible B and C pillars, essentially. They're still there, they're just behind the glass, so it creates a more seamless transition around the truck, so there's less painted surfaces for the paint to chip, and it creates just a much more handsome look around, a more fluid look around the vehicle there. But that's probably one of my most exciting features on this truck. That's probably one of my favorites right there, is the way the windows have like these hidden pillars behind them. So from the outside, you know, if you're standing far enough back, oh, there's no pillars on this truck. Another feature I did was I wanted to kind of do something like what the Dodge Challengers have, which is that kick up near the rear window. And I found that if I put it too far forward, it wouldn't have a good look interior or on the exterior. So what I ended up doing was making the bed higher. The bed ended up higher than I originally anticipated, but I did start with the cab for these trucks, and it's got this kick up right here, which not only increases the bed depth, but it also kind of gives it a sporty kind of look going down the side, more of a muscle truck kind of look. And that's kind of what I ended up with on this truck. I'm very happy with it. I would definitely say it's a very muscular, brutish kind of face and truck to it. One more model inside the building, and I'll show you one outside. This is the XBA. So this is my 3-row SUV. Think Ford Excursion, essentially. This is essentially a Ford Excursion. It's just the XBA. This was a design I'd sketched out. I like having the borderless or the invisible pillars, so I decided to carry that all the way to the rear of the vehicle. This one is definitely very far from being finished, this model here, but I really wanted to rush it and at least get the concept out here for you guys to see. So the rear roof line disappears, tapers off near the rear, and windows just keep going all the way around. Obviously I do need more work on the pillars and whatnot, so it's not just glass all the way around, but the pillars will be behind the glass, much like on the pickup truck. The really cool feature of this truck is, yes, it has 6 side doors, 3 on each side. This is the limousine of SUVs. My biggest problem with most of the SUVs of today's market with a third row is there's very bad access to the third row. It's hard to get back there, you have to climb over seats, it's a pain. Well, this has a setup very similar to trucks of today where you sometimes have like that suicide door to the rear of the driver's door. So it clamshells out. It opens essentially the wrong way, for lack of a better term. This truck simply does that behind the middle door. So it's got 3 doors, the first 2 open just like the pickup truck does, and then this one opens backwards, swings open, and you have complete access to the third row. This kind of shows how wide that little door is. It's not a whole lot of width. It's really narrow. It's a really small door. But without that door, you would not be able to get to the third row without folding down the second row or something. The last, that's a 2500 right there. Now you can see that this engine cover is much higher up than the other truck with the V8, and that's just because how much beefier, bigger a V8 diesel is. Again, this engine cover comes from the old generation truck. It's just been fitted into the new one. Some of these bolts here be fake and some real, and you would just loosen them and pop it up. It's got vents in the front, vents on the side, but that's what's underneath the hood of these trucks. And the last model I wanted to show you, because 2500 is essentially the 1500 with a beefier motor, is our 3500 dually. Like I said, none of these models are completely finished, so forgive like the really bad lines and stuff like that are showing up. But this is, this is our 3500 dually. So it kind of has the bubble fenders like a Dodge, but I also wanted to bring them out pretty much along this belt line here, and they ended up being really, really wide, and it creates a really big stance. It's got like these ultra wide hips on the rear, very reminiscent of the old school fenders for the dualies back in like 90s, 80s and 90s. They were huge, and really more so in the 90s and early 2000s, and that's what this truck has. So yeah, that's kind of my dealership. Really quickly, I'll show you the fast chargers for the e-tron vehicles. That's just a plug that comes out, you stick it on your truck or your car, and you charge it up. This is the logo for Salochin motor vehicles. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. You can kind of see a couple different trim levels here. The e-tron truck there kind of is a sport trim level, so it's got like the body color bumper and grille. This truck is obviously like a base model, because it's got like the blacked out grille, plastic everywhere on the outside, so it's really kind of a lower key model. And then this one here is kind of like the most, it's got the better rims, chrome everywhere, so it's a really beefed up model as far as that goes. Anyway guys, hope you really enjoy the models. Let me know what you think about the trucks, what you like, what you really don't like, what you think would be a problem with them. Other than that, just remember they aren't quite finished yet, but I will definitely be showing more of them when I get them done. Thanks for watching.